Go ahead and bust out the broom because in yesterday's video, we swept, hitting all three picks. So if you tailed any of the picks from yesterday's video, congratulations. And I hope you guys were able to cash out with me. Now, who am I? I'm CJ Curry. Thank you so much for joining me for another NBA Prize Picks video. If you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, here's your opportunity to hit the subscribe button. It's free for you to do. It helps me out. You turn on the bell, ring that notification bell so that anytime I drop a new video here on the channel, you guys get alerted immediately. And if you could leave a like on the video, I'd greatly appreciate that, especially if you tailed yesterday's picks and I helped you cash out. Now, what were the picks from yesterday's video? I got them right here for you up on the screen. We went with Jalen Suggs over 11.5 points and rebounds. That one cashed really easily. We had Anthony Simons going over 2.5 2-point makes. I ain't gonna lie to you, that one was very sweaty, but he ended up getting it done, as did Jordan Poole over 13.5 field goal attempts, and that one became even better once Zion Williamson was ruled out. So congratulations once again to anybody who tailed those. Now on top of that, if you're a member of my Dub Club VIP community, well, we cashed out another slip, which is this one right here. Let me blow it up so you guys can see it a little bit better. We ended up doing a 4-pick. I flexed it. We went Rashee Rice over 16 fantasy score. He crushed it on Monday Night Football. On top of that, we took Zach Ertz over 5 targets. He ended up with 6, so that one came through for us late in the game. And then Tommy Edman of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, I don't know what inning they're in, like the 15th inning right now. The game is still going, and it's past 1:30 a.m. It's almost 2 a.m. where I'm at here in Florida. And then Vladdy Guerrero over 6.5 fantasy score. But yeah, shout out to Tommy Edman. He was the last one on this slip to cash. And I think he finally did it in the 13th inning or something. So we turned a nice little 6X on this 4-pick flex over on PrizePicks. So this is your opportunity. If you are not a Dub Club member, get in there. There's limited spots available. There's only a few left where you can get your first month of picks, plays, and parlays from me, yours truly, for just $10 on your first month, and then it's $20 a month going forward. That comes out to about 67 cents per day. Super affordable for anybody out there that's looking for somebody who's doing data-driven, stat-driven research on player props every day. We mostly play on PrizePicks, but I also cover other apps too, like Underdog, Better, and I throw out some sportsbook picks. We actually hit a 3-pick parlay, and that one was sent out to Dub Club community members as well. So do think about joining the Dub Club. I've left the link down in the description below. You can check the top comment down in the comment section. I've pinned it there as well. So if you're interested in joining, I'd appreciate you doing so. And thank you for all your support as always. Now, we've got a small NBA slate for Taco Tuesday, but I've tried my best here to dig up some plays for you guys. These picks, I like them, probably don't love them, so if you wanted to flex them or risk a little bit less than you normally would, I can't blame you for that. But let's go ahead and get into them. Again, these are all data-driven research picks. The first guy that I'm looking at is DeMar DeRozan for the Sacramento Kings. And I'm looking to take the under on him actually at 24.5 points plus assists, going up against a tough Oklahoma City Thunder squad. Obviously, we know the Thunder very good defensively. DeMar DeRozan has not hit this prop when Domantas Sabonis has played. And we can kind of take a look at some of these hit rates here for him. And one cool thing about Outlier, I'll just go to the default view here. If you take a look at DeMar DeRozan at 24.5 points and assists, you're going to look at his game logs and be like, yeah, but what about that game against Phoenix when he had 38 points plus assists? He had 29 points, 9 assists. Well, again, Domantas Sabonis did not play in that game. And one cool thing about Outlier is you can actually use these filters and you can look at games with a player and games without a player. So we're going to look at games with Domantas Sabonis because he's expected to play tomorrow versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. And when you look at those games, he had just 13 points and assists against Utah, and then 24 came really close against the Los Angeles Lakers, scoring 21 points and 3 assists. So as long as everybody's active for the Sacramento Kings, I'm talking about Sabonis, I'm talking about Zach LaVine, I'm talking about Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder, you know, all the guys, Malik Monk, all the key guys for the Sacramento Kings. As long as those guys end up playing, then I like the under here for DeMar DeRozan. Now, as far as the rankings go, the matchup, the Oklahoma City Thunder overall rank third in points allowed, fewest points allowed, and they rank fourth in fewest assists allowed. And when you kind of take a look at the small forward position, which is where I would probably say DeMar DeRozan fits in, the Oklahoma City Thunder ranked ninth in points allowed, fewest points allowed, and seventh in fewest assists allowed. So this is like a top 10 worst matchup if you're DeMar DeRozan. And against the Oklahoma City Thunder in the past, he has definitely struggled against them the last two times that he faced OKC. February the 1st of, earlier this year, but that was from last season. Only 19 when it comes to the points and assists there, 17 points and 2 assists. And then he faced them again on March the 25th, putting up 10 points and 16 assists. So, I kind of like the under in this case based on that. Now, again, if you wanted to kind of get more of an accurate read on these games, you could look at games played against OKC, when Domantas Sabonis played, when Zach LaVine played, and then you're kind of left with like these games, just this one game right here, where he had 16 points plus assists. So not a very good matchup for DeMar DeRozan on paper here. But outside of that, I'm going to take a look at some of the projections for DeRozan. It's a little bit of a mixed bag right now. Like some sites have DeRozan going under, some have him going over. But if you take a look at RotoWire, which is a fantastic tool, if you haven't seen or used RotoWire before, it's great. They've built out an app that basically shows you the best player props to take on any given site, whether that be PrizePicks, Underdog, DraftKings Pick 6, Sleeper, or your favorite sports books like FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars, and Hard Rock Bet. Now, this isn't just an NBA tool. What's great about RotoWire is it's going to cover a ton of different sports. I'm talking NFL, NBA, obviously, MLB, college football, NHL, even sports that are more obscure like esports, MMA, and PGA. It's all covered right here on this RotoWire app. So if you're looking for player prop projections, if you're looking for hit rates, if you're looking for comparisons, prize picks versus other apps and sites, RotoWire really does a little bit of everything. It's kind of the jack of all trades. So definitely check it out. 15% off when you use promo code CJ Curry. Link down in the description of today's video. But if you look at the lean less options for DeMar DeRozan, the top lean less option is the under on his 24.5 points plus assists. Their proprietary projection models have him at 21.43 points plus assists. So that's more than 3 PA lower than where his line currently sits. I won't waste your time by going over the hit rates again. We already looked at those on Outlier, but yeah, the projection at 21.43 looking pretty good here. Another projection, it's still pretty early, but we can also look at LineStar. Now, LineStar is going to have DeMar DeRozan at 25.7 points plus assists, but it's important to note here that when you're looking at these player projection tools and the projections that they're giving you, you should probably shave another about 10% off of whatever the projection is. 10 to 20%, I would say. And so it's going to be pretty close to about 24.5 when you kind of take off that extra 10, 15, 20% off of that projection. So a couple of projections there for DeRozan that kind of puts him closer to that 24.5 marker. It's not like he's a massive betting or a massive projected favorite to go over 24.5 or anything like that. One more projection site and model that you can look at for free is Betting Pros, bettingpros.com. Definitely check it out if you're looking for free tools. They have him projected for 24.1 points plus assists, so they do have him slightly under 24.5. So there's pick number one, DeMar DeRozan, for less than 24.5 points plus assists. Now, pick number two, I'm going to go over to the Charlotte Hornets for this one, and I'm looking at Miles Bridges. And the reason I'm looking at Miles Bridges is because we just got news recently that Brandon Miller is expected to miss a significant amount of time. He's dealing with a shoulder issue, and so Miles Bridges, one of the vets on the team now with LaMelo Ball, will probably step into a much larger role. I mean, he's already flinging up a bunch of shots this season, and so I'm going to take the field goal attempts for more than 14.5 against the Miami Heat. Not only is Brandon Miller beat up and he's going to be out, but they're also saying that maybe Mann might be out as well. So Trey Mann might also be out for the Charlotte Hornets. He did return to the game. He left with an injury, came back, but I'm not sure what his status is going to be. But nonetheless, I like Miles Bridges here for more than 14.5 field goal attempts. So let's kind of take a closer look here on Outlier. These are games from this season, 2025. He opened the season with just 11 field goal attempts. These could be 2-pointers or 3-point attempts. It doesn't matter. It's just any type of shot that he puts up. But he only played about 31 minutes in that game. Then you see his minutes pop up to almost 35 minutes and then a little over 32 minutes in the next 2 games. But he had 18 field goal attempts against the 76ers and 16 versus the Washington Wizards. Now, in terms of matchup, the Miami Heat, not a super strong matchup. They're mostly more of a neutral matchup when it kind of comes to field goal attempts allowed. They rank 9th in 2-point attempts allowed, 17th in 3-point attempts allowed. So it's not like a great matchup or anything on paper, but I just think that the opportunities are going to be there for him. Like I said, with a key cog in their rotation and lineup, Brandon Miller being out, Miles Bridges should step into more field goal attempts. Now, if we look at the 2024 season, this was a prop that Miles Bridges cleared in about 69% of the games that he appeared in. Now, once again, what's cool about Outlier is you could go games without player, and you can remove some of these guys from the lineup. A guy like Brandon Miller, when you take him out, you'll see that Miles Bridges' field goal attempts, his average for last season was right around 17. But when you take Brandon Miller out, it jumps up a little bit to 17.74 field goal attempts without Brandon Miller. That's a 72% hit rate, meaning he went over 14.5 field goal attempts in 36 out of 50 games without Miller around. Now, you can also include players, and in this case, we probably want to include LaMelo Ball since he's one of the more important players for the Charlotte Hornets that was there last season. And then you're kind of left with these 27 games, 19 out of 27 hit rate, where Miles Bridges cleared 14.5 field goal attempts. So not bad. 70% hit rate, averaged right around 17 field goal attempts per game. Now you could take this a step further and remove some other players, but then your sample size starts to kind of shrink up a little bit. Like Grant Williams, if you were to take him out, you could see that the hit rates jump up to 74%, 17 out of 23 games he hit the over, and then he averaged about 17.43 field goal attempts. If you wanted to take this a step further and remove Josh Green, you could do that as well. But then you're only left with 3 games, a super small sample size. So these were games where Miles Bridges played with LaMelo Ball and without Miller, Grant, Williams, and Josh Green. So you're left with these 3 games. He had 18, 20, and 18 field goal attempts. And oddly enough, one of the games where he had 18 field goal attempts was against the Miami Heat, the same team that he'll be facing on Tuesday night. So kind of interesting to see that. Let's clear these filters out. I just kind of want to show you some more of the head-to-heads. The last 2 times that Miles Bridges has faced the Miami Heat, he had 19 field goal attempts, and that was March the 10th. Then he played them about 2 weeks later on March the 23rd, and he also had 18 field goal attempts in that one. So 2 out of 2 in his last 2. Even this game here was pretty close. He had 14 field goal attempts against the Miami Heat, so he finished just shy of the over, which is 15. We need 15 out of him in this particular case. So let's look at the projections. We'll go over here to RotoWire. RotoWire, again, one of the best tools in the business because they're one of the only tools that I have found that will actually give you a projection on a stat like field goal attempts. You're just going to be hard pressed to find many projection sites or models that will give you a field goal attempt projection. But in this case, we have a positive projection here for Miles Bridges. If you open up his player card, they've got him projected for about 16 field goal attempts going up against the Miami Heat on Tuesday night. So that is a solid projection there for Mr. Miles Bridges. So that's pick number 2 for you. Pick number 3, we're going to kind of go with we'll say Mr. Reliable here. You know, when you're looking for kind of a third pick and you don't really know who to hang your hat on, who to go to, why not go to the Greek Freak against the New York Knicks? A guy in Giannis who is just one of those guys that, generally speaking, he rises to the occasion, right? He kind of cherishes these big marquee matchups. And obviously the New York Knicks are, one of the more marquee matchups that are out there. Now, Giannis, the prop that I'm going to take is the over on his 10.5 2-point makes. He's a guy that once in a while will hit a 3. But what I found interesting here is that his 2-point field goal makes is at 10.5. And then his total field goal makes are also at 10.5. So it's pretty much the same line when you kind of figure that Giannis isn't really likely to hit very many threes. I mean, if you look at the 3-point attempts this season, he has attempted 3, 2, and 1. Now, as far as makes go, I don't know what his makes are, but again, he's just not a guy who's going to knock down a ton of threes at a very high clip. I mean, he has made a three in each of the last 3 games, so I guess he is shooting and making threes at a pretty high rate. I don't think I would take that demon, though. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the 2-point field goal makes here against the New York Knicks, and I'll explain why here in just a moment. Taking a look over on Outlier this season, Giannis has put up 2-point field goal makes of 15 against the Washington Wizards. Very soft and squishy matchup there. They ranked 25th in 2-point field goal makes allowed. The next matchup was against the Toronto Raptors. He only had a total of 9 2-point field goal makes against the Raptors. They're kind of more of a middle of the pack defense, so not very good or not very bad. They're kind of just right down the middle. And then the most recent matchup was against the Cleveland Cavaliers, another team that's kind of like right in the middle, more of a tougher matchup than an easier matchup, but kind of a middle of the pack team. But he did still manage 13 2-point field goal makes against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So how did the New York Knicks rank? Well, they ranked pretty good in terms of this matchup. They ranked 20th in 2-point field goal makes allowed. So very good matchup. It is a green matchup according to Outlier. And we've seen Giannis do this now in 2 out of 3 games. If you want to take a look at the head-to-heads, we got that for you as well. The last 3 times that he's played the New York Knicks, he's put up 11, 10, and 11. So it's going to be one of those props where he will be in the neighborhood, in the vicinity, in the ballpark of 10 to 11 2-point field goal makes. He's gone over in 2 out of the last 3 meetings. The one where he missed, he ended up with 10. So that would have been a loss by the hook. He would have fell short by 1. One thing that I wanted to kind of take a look at is his hit rates from the 2024 season. 62% of the games in which Giannis played in, he went over 10.5 2-point field goal makes. So that's a pretty nice percentage. Anytime you can find a prop that's hitting at over a 60% rate, I think that's pretty darn good. Now, if you look at the games where he played, let's say without a stud next to him like Damian Lillard, you can remove some of these games. He ended up averaging about 10.94 2-point field goal makes, 61% hit rate, not bad. And then his home games, he averaged right around 11.29 2-point field goal makes. A lot of that was kind of inflated by this 22-point field goal make game he had against the Detroit Pistons. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that, yes, if he gets fouled, that would cut into his potential 2-point field goal makes. But the New York Knicks aren't a team who rank very highly in sending opposing players to the free throw line, so I'm not too worried about that. One other thing that kind of caught my eye about this prop when we're taking a look at it here on Outlier is that home games last season, he actually had a little bit of a higher hit rate, 62% hit rate overall, but games played at home, he had a 66% hit rate, and he averaged more than 12 2-point field goal makes in those games. Played at home in front of the Milwaukee Bucks fans. So just something to kind of throw in there as a third pick. We'll call it an honorable mention. As I mentioned, this slate's kind of a smaller slate. The options right now are few and far between, and there is some pretty impactful pending injury news as well. Like, for instance, the New York Knicks might be without Karl Anthony Towns, which I think would be a big boost here for Giannis and lead to him making even more 2-point field goals than he would otherwise. But anyway, let's get you a projection on this one. We're going to go over here to RotoWire and we plug in Giannis's name. You're going to see that his total field goal makes are set at 10.2. So if you take the 10.2 and you subtract this 0.4, you're left with about 9.6 2-point field goal makes. So it's a little lower than the 10.5 line, but as you can see from the hit rates and such, I think he's going to have a real chance, real opportunity against the New York Knicks. So if you don't like this prop, you don't have to take it, but I was looking for a third prop so that I could flex this play with my 2 other picks that I mentioned beforehand. Kind of an ugly NBA slate, but that's what I dug up for you. What do you guys think? You liking these? You hating these? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you've got something better, I'm all ears. I'd love to hear what you guys are playing. Maybe you guys can put me onto something that's looking extra spicy and enticing on Taco Tuesday. Till the next video, guys, good luck on all your picks, plays, and parlays. And if you're a Dub Club member, well, you know, I'll see you on the inside. I'll be active in Discord all day long, dropping some Taco Tuesday pairings for your entries. Till next time, peace.